Hi, good evening to you. You're welcome along to ESTV. Yes, we took a week off last week because we were told to by our wives. Yes. Good evening to you. Hi, Trevor. How are you tonight?
Hi, Alan. Yeah, good to be back. Oh, there we go. Good to be back in the seat. Yeah, had a week off last week because of the old Valentine's night, but back to work now. So, and we have Howard here as well. Howard, how you doing?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Yeah, what a great week it was, and I trust you all spoiled and lavished attention on your wives on Valentine's night.
Well, I suppose we did in a sense, but we had to, didn't we? We had to.
We chose to.
We chose to. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you're very welcome in. Tonight we have a wonderful guest with us who's joined us. We have Ollwyn Moran from Cognitive Kids, and we're going to be talking to her later on all about her business. So guys, tell me this, how was your week? Trevor, how was yours? Have you been busy?
Have I been? Have I been busy? I'm always busy. I'm busy fizzy. See, there you go. No, it's been a good week. Lots of plans starting to come together this year. Things come into fruition. So those kind of development plans I thought about last year are all starting to, come along with the new shoots of spring are coming out as well. So I think it's that sort of spring, new ideas. Things are all starting to happen. So it's all good. How about you, Howard? How's life?
It's you know what? It just keeps getting better. I had a tremendous start to the week so far. Three Guys training really coming together. Effective 5 really coming together. Radio interviews we were on. Myself and Alan were on the radio today. We were meant to get you on as well, Trevor. Technical difficulties as happened. We've booked our Birmingham event for the 9th of April. We're here in the Central Hotel on the 30th, Thursday the 30th. Really excited about sharing what we have learned from big business. Because, what I felt, a lot of small business training is given by small business people who quite frankly aren't the big business thinkers, and delighted to have Ollwyn on tonight. Ollwyn has gone from her kitchen table, I know, to a global reach, which I'm really, really looking forward to her sharing her story. It's been fantastic. Alan, how's your week been?
Wonderful. I had the great pleasure of going to the Black Belt Mastermind day only there last week with Danielle Serpico, and I tell you now, fantastic. Really, really, thought-provoking. Thrown on a lot of light bulbs for a lot of people at it, and she really is very good. So I would encourage anyone who is interested in that type of mindfulness definitely to speak to Danielle. It's been a fantastic week. Lots of happening here within Compass Media. We're doing a lot more training. We've just partnered up with another company now. We're going to. It's sort of in the process of getting there. And then of course we're just getting ourselves ready for our Effectifying Social, which is going to be the business boot camp, which has been changed the date for the simple reason for that is, ladies and gentlemen, is because we know that Mother's Day was on the same day, and I think we all know that mothers are more important than anything else in the world. So we have to, look after our mums as well. So that's why one of the reasons why we changed the date to the 30th of March, and it's, as I said, as Howard said, it's all happening in the Central Hotel in Dublin. Fantastic week, and lots happening. We're talking, you may have seen some of the posts that I've done during the week. We were talking about LinkedIn and the way the new platform and the new dashboard is happening. So, a lot of changes, all for the good, and we definitely will be looking at that in a bit more detail as well here over the next coming weeks here on ESTV. Don't forget, if you do want to get in contact with us, guys, you can tweet us at Effectifying SOC, that's Effectifying SOC, as we like to say. You can also find us on our Facebook page, which is Effectifying Social, and you can also see some of the lovely posts and the lovely graphics that Trevor has provided us with on our Instagram page. And we're also on YouTube, and of course you can find more information about everything that we do on our website, which is Effectifying www.social. So, without further ado, I think we should introduce our guest. She's sitting patiently waiting to have a chat with us. So, it's a very good evening to you, Ollwyn. How are you tonight?
Hi, guys. I'm mighty fine. Thanks very much.
And you might tell us a little bit about your business. And basically, maybe give us a little bit of a backstory and tell us how it all started from the kitchen table to where it is today. What a fine empire it is as well today.
Sure. Probably more like the kitchen floor, actually, than the kitchen table. Because my first product was a product that helped babies crawl on wooden and tile floors. So, so we have a patent on that, and we're called Cogni Kids. So our website is cognikids.com, and all of our social media is Cogni Kids. I had the idea when I was training to be a neurological developmental therapist, and I wasn't a parent at the time. And then when I did become a parent, I realized that actually there is a difficulty in little ones trying to crawl on wooden and tile floors, and came up with what we call our crawl suit. And from there, then we launched that in 2013. And then last year, in April, we launched a couple of new products and we did a rebrand. So so we're actually next month we'll be launching 2 more new products, and we'll be adding to our listings in Ireland and further afield. So busy couple of years.
Very, very busy. And it's a fantastic, I've looked at the website, and like for viewers who are new to ESTV, we interviewed Ollwyn on a radio show that we used to do about a year ago. And like from what we're hearing now today, it's really started to ramp up for you, as you say. So it's a fantastic to see that, and so absolutely thrilled for you,
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of long days, sometimes even longer nights, and some kind of days I might just take a breath and kind of go, oh my God, I actually haven't had a day off in 6 weeks, or so it's just kind of back to back, and what needs to be done. We're a small team, but I kind of run it like as if we've got a team of 20 or 30 people, but because that's really how you need to run something if you want to compete with the big global players. So I'm definitely not a kind of a kitchen table enterprise. I don't want to have this as a lifestyle. I very much intend to grow the living daylights out of it and compete with the big global brands. So
I can resonate with that. I was had a business where we started off in our front living room, just me and my wife, and I remember the first day where we got busy and we said we need to employ somebody, because there were just the 2 of us. And I don't know how you felt about that leap from just yourself to starting employing people, because over here in certainly the UK, the legislation in the UK, whether you employ 1 person or 1,000 people, the laws are all the same. The pensions, the sick pay, the holiday pay, all of that HR is a minefield. And I remember we sat there going, do we really want to employ someone? We ended up with 28, but it was an interesting jump, if you like. I don't know how you felt when you went from the kitchen table to I need to employ some people to start helping out.
Yeah, I mean, so my background is not in business. So I was a secondary school teacher for 15 years. And, kind of my default is to actually help people, as opposed to look for people to kind of help me. So first thing, I was like, I can do this on my own, no problem. So I actually had to change my mindset to realize that I can't do it on my own.
Yeah.
And then I found it very, very difficult. However, I totally echo what you're saying, but not just even from the HR side, but from pinning down what I wanted them to do. So what was their job spec like? Because as you know, when you're a small entity, you kind of have a title, but you have to do a million other jobs on top of that.
Yeah.
But it was really to kind of focus on what were the core competencies that I wanted somebody to come on board with me and take over from me, so that I could focus on growing the business and product development and, you know, kind of like investment rounds and selling and manufacturing and that sort of stuff. So it was really just looking at how can I carve up and create a position for somebody so that they're busy enough, number one, that I'm happy enough to give them that as their own project, because I don't want to be like a micromanager. And, you know, like, I made mistakes. Just bring people on and, you know, they can be fine for a while, and then all of a sudden you're kind of like going, you're not the right fit. So, you know, like that, we had our contracts drawn up by employment lawyers. So I knew that I was covered from that perspective. So that was really important. Yeah.
But it is still a challenge going over that hurdle of realising you have to manage people before you can then get back to doing what you like doing in your business.
Absolutely. Well, I ran, so in my school when I was teaching, I ran the science department. So we would have had from 15 to 20 teachers in the science department. So and I would have been over that. And I thought, no problem, I'll just bring people on board. I've managed people before, it's not an issue. But oh my God, like just managing a department in school is completely different, because like a teacher by default has to be hyper organized, results orientated, focused. We literally, like, we would have a 3-year plan from obviously day one in first year right through to the end of the junior cert exams, and we carved that out over the 3 years, and we could nearly tell you what we're teaching like every 5 minutes. And so I made the assumption that when I bring people on board, they'd be like that.
The ideal world.
What? They're not. So I found that such a challenge in trying to figure out, and even to this day, I still find it a challenge in trying to figure out how to manage people without micromanaging, because of my work ethic. Not everybody has the same work ethic. And I know, like, I'm very much a realist as well. I know this is my company, so I'm going to be obsessed about it. But I do believe that if you're the right team member, you will also be obsessed. You'll take pride in your work, and you'll really want to just see, like, input and see it grow. So, yeah, they, you know,
So social media for you, Ollwyn, must be great for your global reach. As you said, you've got new products coming online, and you're building a community of mothers, I presume, who are very keen to see what you're coming up with next. I mean, you've got the crawl suit, you've got the baby grip. The last time we were talking, you were bringing another product online, but you know, we're not living on an island anymore. You were talking about people in Australia and the States and all that kind of stuff. So how do you leverage your social media in order to gain these people?
So we're on all the different social media channels, and we would have tried and errored some of them. Some of them no longer exist. And we have figured out that different countries, moms in different countries, prefer different social channels. And so we need to talk to them in a different way. Like, moms in America are all over Instagram. They're not really into the Facebook. Everything is Instagram. Moms in Europe are more Facebook. They're kind of, now I see a change now, but like when we would do paid advertising on both of those platforms, on the Instagram platform, we get all of our orders from Canada and US. When we do paid advertising on the Facebook, we get all of our orders from Ireland, UK, and mainland Europe, and Australia. So we've just had to learn over the past few years kind of where moms are, what way they like to see kind of images and things. And if you look right back, actually don't look right back, to our very first posts or the start of our feeds and things like that. We have developed as a brand, and you know, we kind of like hone in. I mean, it's still a minefield. They're all the time changing algorithms and stuff like that, and you just don't, you know, you just kind of think, yes, I've got this now, and we can see the results when we, you know, invest X amount into advertising on this platform. We can roughly gauge what we're going to get back from that. And the minute you start thinking that is when they'll change it, and you're just like, oh crap, I have to come up with a new strategy and whatever. So we're all the time doing different things. And we're on Snapchat I'm on Snapchat as the mom behind the brand.
We know that. We know you're on Snapchat.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. And it's like that's hit and miss. It depends on what my workload is like. So I might go missing for 3 days because I'm just up to my eyeballs. I could be traveling, or I could be just doing some boring stuff. And like today, actually, and I'm sure the guy that I was doing strategy planning with won't mind me saying this, but it's boring stuff that I'm doing at the moment. And halfway through the day, oh God, I forgot to put up a post on Snapchat. So it was like, he was like, don't get me in the photo. But so we talk very differently on each of our platforms to different people. So that's what we've had to learn, And then don't forget as well, we've got our retailers that we chat to. Well, not directly chat to, but every time we put out a post, we consider we're having a conversation with our audience. And so like that on our LinkedIn page, our company LinkedIn page, it's much more formal. You're never going to find me with a photo of my kids on that, or mentioning anything about personal whatever we're up to, or even if we're traveling for our business or anything like that, we don't really post that sort of stuff up on our LinkedIn page. So we know that we have a different way to talk to our different audiences.
Which one would you find now is most effective for your business? I suppose. Like I understand that yes, you have to be on all of them, and you pick particular ones there you focused on. But with regards to I suppose your visual, would you use a lot of Pinterest, or would you use that way, or would you use Facebook, or
No, I kind of dropped off Pinterest actually. But I still get people, like emails from Pinterest saying, "Oh, such and such pinned one of your things." I never personally got the hang of Pinterest. One of the girls in the office used to do it. But then we just kind of we get much more interaction with Facebook, much more interaction with what's the other one? I'm like, oh, what's the other one? Instagram and Snapchat. They would be our to moms one, and then our Twitter one would be more to journalists or media kind of, or people we're trying to get to, so we can use that. And then LinkedIn is more retail or business kind of side of things. They'd be the main platforms that we would focus on.
And I suppose it's probably true to say, in fairness, that with Twitter, it is a way of getting to these people that you really are, you try, that you really would never have access to before. Whereas now you can speak to these influencers, and you can build that relationship, I suppose, with them as well, which also builds also the brand's recognition, and they're more likely to speak about your brand as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of on Twitter, it would be, again, I kind of use Twitter a little bit more like LinkedIn. So it's a bit more like business. It's like the business end of the business.
Yeah.
As opposed to the community end of the business. So Twitter would be more just in your face kind of, and tag people. And a lot of the time, if we're doing a visual, we'll still tag them and try and get back to look at it. We can do the same on Instagram as well, but I don't like to over tag people in Instagram, because again, you don't want to pee people off, and where they'll just not respond and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it all feeds into community building.
Yeah.
In a way, because even if you're talking to your buyers, they're still part of your community. So
And then it's as you say as well, it's also having the empathy with, the different areas of what you're talking to, whether it be mums or whether it be the journalists or wherever. It is about having empathy and getting to know these people, and that's I think an essential part of building a community as much as anything else. I seen on Snapchat, on Snapchat a couple of months back, I remember you doing one of the girls in the office you had her on, and you were getting her to speak in Irish and stuff like that. I think she was herself, you know. And but it was yet again, it was a great way of connecting, because people actually started, like, I know personally, I was sort of watching every day to see what would next be asked and whatever. So it was, you know, it was very interesting. But I think that's a great way of, you know, connecting with your community as well.
I love that about Snapchat. It's way more informal, and, you know, kind of even the images and stuff that, you know, like last night I posted something like a text my brother had sent me, but it was the singing text kind of thing. I just became an auntie for the first time last week. Woo-hoo. So I was actually sharing, I haven't told my brother this, but I shared, he was giving me a cuddle band because I was putting a nickname on his son. And so I shared it with everybody on Snapchat, and loads of people were kind of like, oh my God, that is just too funny. And, you know, kind of, was he not busy changing nappies? And, you know, so they get kind of part of your, like, what's going on. I share recipes on Snapchat, and, you know, it's very informal. And like that, some of the messing that's going on in the background in the office, which there's generally a lot of, you know, so yeah, I have to confess, I was a late converter to Snapchat, but it's very powerful too. Yeah, I really like it.
I think it takes the time to find which platform works for you and which personality a platform works for you, because, like I say, you probably wouldn't do Snapchat the same as you would LinkedIn. Two different animals. You have to understand the different nuances, different ones. But I mean, what would your advice be for people that haven't explored perhaps all of the channels? Where to start? Do they go on everything? Do they put the same content everywhere, or what's the best plan?
Get on everything anyway, and get your username. That's what I'd say. That's the most important thing. Like, we've usernames for all sorts, like mad stuff that some of our friends in the US were using, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is the most amazing social platform." And then all of a sudden, the social platform is gone. But we got on there, got our usernames, and then, you know, kind of like abandoned it, but at least we had our username. So what I would do is I would suggest that kind of what I do is, if I'm trying to say from the business perspective of things, I tend to channels I can, so like on their LinkedIn, so I'll see what communicate, what type of stuff they share, they comment on, build up like a profile of them in their head. I also will check out just have a look at their profiles, just to see what, you know, like, is there a style? Do they have a particular way of talking? Because obviously, if you're trying to approach somebody and you're trying to get negotiations even started, or even just get an appointment, it's very important if you can actually, you know, talk to them the same style that they like to talk to, or talking. And then just try everything. Like, so watch other brands that, you know, say I would have brands that I absolutely love, and there's probably one in the baby space, but there's, you know, there's a couple in the sporting arena, there's a couple in the homewares arena, there's a couple in the, you know, whatever, and there's a reason why I'm attracted to them, and I'm obsessed with them, and so I watch what they do, and I just see, like, what is it that they're at, what's their activities, how do they talk to people, and because obviously if their target market would be similar to my target market, they're huge, they have the research, they have the huge marketing, kind of, what's it called, the marketing department, they have the big budgets, they'll have done all of the research, 100% guaranteed. So if you figure out how they're talking to their customers, you can then emulate that style. Don't copy word for word.
Take inspiration from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you know, kind of follow them on all their different platforms and see what they're doing, and then you adapt that kind of style to your platforms as well, and then see what, you know, what kind of feedback you get, what interaction, what engagement, and go from there.
I think a lot of people
never think you have it licked. Like, we're constantly, even just today, we're talking about changing up stuff and whatever. So, you know.
I think a lot of people don't really realise that social media has broken down so many barriers to communication. You know, and I think when I was in purchasing in my previous career, the internet didn't exist. You know, communication was telephone or write a letter. Now we've got Snapchat. We can send pictures instantly to whoever we need to, and share stuff 24/7. And it has opened up the world to your smartphone, isn't it? And I think that's a shift that people need to really get on board with, and engage with that.
Yeah, and I think the other side of that is, as you'd say, you know, it is about not just stopping and just saying, okay, this is working. It's constantly evolving, and it's like, as you said, even with the algorithms and stuff like that, that's changing. You have to keep up to date, but also I think as well is that you have to keep turning. You have to keep turning that wheel and revisiting things and saying, okay, well, how can we do this now that it's different, that it's because it's moved on from 3 months ago or even 2 weeks ago. That's how recent it's actually getting now with the algorithms and, you know, with the way people are talking on, whether it be Snapchat, Instagram or whatever, you know. So I would totally agree, and I think that is probably one of the key takeaways here from tonight is do try everything, do get on, look at what works for you and concentrate on it, and and try and, as you say, look at the other brands that are around you, look at your competitors and see what they're doing. By doing this, as Ollwyn has said, they've already done the big research for you. So it's a case of you just looking at it and saying, well, how can I take that information and brand it towards me? Not actually copy it, brand it that it works for me.
Yeah. No, I'd just say one thing actually, Howard. I have to confess, I would never look at what other baby. So you just mentioned look at what your competitors are doing. I don't fixate on my competitors at all. I think for me, and just like for my mindset and stuff. So we've got we've got patents and IP and stuff like that. But what I find works best for me is not to focus on what other people in my space are doing, because I want to be different. And so I always look outside of my kind of market segment. So I rarely would look at, kind of what somebody, and even kind of maybe the retailers that I would sell into, don't really look at what they're at. I'm looking at, because nobody else tends to look outside of their remit, or their industry. I always look outside and look to see what other people are doing, and even in beauty and that kind of thing. So there's some really powerful brands out there using all sorts of different social media channels. I mean, I don't have it lit. I'm going down to Cork at the weekend to meet an influencer from the UK, actually. Absolutely killing it. We've been chatting back and forth. We kind of struck up a conversation on Snapchat, and so I'm going, like, I'll drive to the ends of the earth to go and have a meeting if I feel that I'm going to learn something from the experience, or I can get some value that I can add then to my own strategy. So I'm constantly reaching outside. And this girl last week she was doing Instagram for like London Fashion Week for like Marc Jacobs and all those kind of high-end guys. Most people would go, well, what have they got to do with what you're trying to do and stuff like that? But she's got a massive following. It's not her market that I'm after, but it's her thinking around how to accelerate and expedite her experiences and her community, and how to grow that continually. So it's that kind of stuff, and then reaching out to other countries to see what other people are doing in other countries. Like that, you want to have that global reach, you have to kind of get outside. Like we've just set up a CogniKit Spain page, a CogniKit Netherlands page, and a CogniKit Portugal page. We've also set up, actually, we've just shipped to Japan, so we're setting that up. We're shipping to Australia, so we're setting that up. So even though it's still CogniKids, we're going to be kind of directing information to those in the languages that they kind of use. So in Australia, they don't call, they refer to babies as bub and like baby. And so it's all that kind of lingo. They don't call a baby grow a baby grow. It's like a romper or a onesie. Same thing in the US. So it's all that sort of stuff. So it's constantly pushing way beyond your barriers. That's what I would say.
That's fantastic. And we wish you continued success. And we're going to watch this space with a lot of interest now over the coming months. So we do want to just wish you, as I said, all the best. And we look forward to hearing your story as we will be joining you all the way watching along. And it was a pleasure talking to you, Ollwyn, and thanks for coming tonight.
Oh, and fair play, lads. Best of luck with your new stuff.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'll talk to you soon, Ollwyn. Thanks again.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So there you go. What a fantastic brand, and what a fantastic story, and a very, very insightful interview. I think you agree, guys.
Definitely. And as three guys pushes the boundaries, it's something we've got to be mindful of ourselves as we move into the UK and beyond, that we are speaking to our potential customers, our potential clients in the language that they use, and be aware of their cultural idioms.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. I was involved with some export to Australia, and I can empathise with what Sheba's been saying there about you've got to get the language right. And it's only slight nuances, but they speak English, we speak English, but it's the same nuances between Irish and English, isn't it? There's certain words that you use that we use differently. But Japan, China, it's a whole new game, isn't it, trying to speak those languages? And it's, quite brave to go, right, okay, I'm going to start exporting to Japan, and I'm going to understand the language and the culture and the business etiquette and really get to grips with it. But, if that's what you want to do, that's the boxes you've got to tick to get there, isn't it? So I think she's doing a brilliant job, So Howard, have you got any words of wisdom to wrap up the show?
I wish I did. I mean, we're talking about Ollwyn there, and she works in cognitive development, and all the time our mind, our child's mind that just willingly accepts information is still there in all of us. And I say this again, critically evaluate all information that comes into you. The source, what the purpose of the information is, and how you can benefit from it, or how the other person is benefiting from they're giving you their understanding. Because what somebody says and what you hear might be two different things. So look, remember that you still got that child's mind. No matter how old you get, you've got that child's mind. So it's always important to stand guard at the gates of your mind, filtering the information that comes in. It's difficult at the start, but like anything, the more you use it, the easier it gets and the better it works for you.
Brilliant.
That's some very, very insightful thinking there today from Howard. This is ESTV, and don't forget, if you do want to get in contact with us, guys, loads of ways to do it. You can email us. You can get to us on our Facebook page, which is Effectifying Social. You can also find us on Instagram at Effectifying Social, and you can tweet us also at Effectifying SOC. And for more information on any of the topics that we talk about, you can also find that on our website, which is www.effectifying.social. All I can say is don't forget, if you are interested in increasing your business and getting to know your customers and getting into the hearts and minds of the way they think, Effectifying Business Bootcamp is coming to you on the 30th of March in the Central Hotel. It's a Thursday, so it's a good day to come out and it's a full day's intensive training with the three guys here. So you're getting 3 heads for the price of 1, basically. And you can find out all the details on our website, which is effectivine.social, or you can also find us on Eventbrite as well if you type in Effectifine Business Bootcamp. If you're listening to us or you're watching us in the UK, we are also running our UK date as well, which is on the 9th of April, and it's happening in Birmingham. So as I said, if you want more details on that, it's all on the website. Trevor, Howard, it was a fantastic show again tonight, and thanks for your contributions, and we'll see you all very soon. So from myself, good night, and from Trevor,
Good night.
and from Howard,
Good night.
Good night.
on the next time. Bye-bye.